Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the What's Going On podcast. And before you do anything, people, please hit that like button and subscribe and share. If you are new on the road to 500, I think I'm 3 away from hitting the 500, that number. So, guys, if you're there and you're watching this on playback, please subscribe and share if you're new. And thank you for those people that have subscribing the last couple of days. We really appreciate that. Big up to the community and everybody else. And listen, we have got a lot to talk about. Lots been happening in the media. Football players, it's all about football tonight, and we're going to be discussing it. And let me just get my agenda up before I bring in Mr. Big D. I don't think Ez can make it on tonight, so not a problem. But listen, we move. So let me just find the agenda. I'm trying to organize myself. I thought I was organized, but bro, it is what it is. But let me just get me things in position. And let me just bring in Mr. Big D.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate.
You all good?
Bad. Yeah. They just ran away, man. Before I blink, it was 6 o'clock. I said, yow.
Oh, you just woke up?
Nah. I've been up since about 1:30, but just doing stuff. But, it's like the time just runs away, and then suddenly I got to eat, and then I got to bathe, and then I said, man, rushing.
Yeah. So what's the weather been like up there? Is it nice? It's been quite nice down here.
Yeah, it's been nice, man. The sun's been out. Obviously, the evenings are dipping quite cold again, but the daytime's been pretty decent. You hear all the lawnmowers out, you know what I mean? So that's hinting at me that I got to go and mow the back lawn.
The daffodils are out. Are out. So spring is around the corner.
Yeah.
Not only that, we've got Mother's Day coming up on Sunday as well. So let's not forget our Mother's Day, people. Yeah,
everything going on.
Get those flowers out and look after your mother. Yeah, if it wasn't for your mother, we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So big up to the mothers. Listen. I lost my mum a few years ago, but listen, it's still in my heart. Big up, Statty. What you say, man? Long time no see, bro. Thanks for just being there and supporting, man. You're always there, man. Do you know what I mean? So big up to you, bro. Yes, we have got a lot to talk about, and what's dominating the news, Big D. I don't know whether Kofi Slot is going to be on there to discuss why FSG, or is it FSG's fault, or is it Trent Alexander's fault? Why he's now ended up going on a free to Real Madrid. Mad, absolutely mad. I mean, these guys are losing out on a lot of money. They could have been selling this guy for like 80, 90 mil, even up to 100 mil. But it is what it is, man. Do you know what I'm saying to say?
Yeah. It's bad business, man. However you look at that.
Yeah. Thanks,
and that's not on Trent. That's not on Trent. You know what I mean? He had a 4-year contract. He has honored his 4-year contract. If you don't offer him anything, then he's free to talk, man. I'm not even, the Liverpool fans will try and do a Stevie Gerrard on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's done nothing wrong here, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, they've gone into meltdown, and we will talk about that. I mean, obviously, Kofi has given his just sort out this thing here. What's going on here? Yeah. Kofi is obviously giving his blessings. If you believe that, if you believe that, but listen, it is what it is.
The thing is, Norm, I think one of the three. If you look at them, Liverpool have got like what I would say 4 world-class players: the goalkeeper, Alisson, and them 3. I think Alisson still got 2 years left on his contract. With Van Dijk and with Mo, I still think one of them still goes. I think one will stay, but yeah. So even if they win the title, they got a rebuild.
Okay, before we go into it, let's just quickly give you the menu. What's on the menu? We're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves. You know what I mean? But look, it's not the typical menu because normally we would be talking about Premier League and all of that. You know what I mean? But at the moment, it's international break. Bring up AFC. What you're saying? Always there.
Big up Craig.
And always everywhere, mate. Big up to you,
I like Craig, you know.
So the menu is a little bit different. This is the international menu, international dish, so to speak. Right. So first of all, first on the item is MLS. Do your thing and don't worry about the haters. You know where I'm going with this one, Big D. Top clubs gunning for top strikers in the summer. Who will strike first? System football against free flowing. Which one gets you over the line? That's an interesting topic, guys. We will address that. Also, Man City's big clear out. And what does it mean for the club next season? And lastly, Trent's final words. Thanks for the great memories, but Hala Madrid is calling. And as you know, that's to be the main news yesterday and obviously today. And an awful lot of Liverpool fans in meltdown because of this. And I suppose the question is that, like, how has it got to this? How, as you know, and you look at the other two players, as you said, key players, spine, you know, Mo Salah and Van Dijk. There's a possibility that one might stay, but who knows? We still don't know. You know what I mean? How are you letting down three main players run down their contracts to this? You know what I mean? And to be honest, I mean, let me just quickly share. Whilst we're on the subject of that, let's talk about that. But this is what Static saying. Also, big D, I'm losing Wi-Fi, so I'll try to come back later. Okay, have a good show. One thing,
man.
As a rival fan, I'm absolutely loving the meltdown from Liverpool fans about Terence Trent Alexander. I hope it's not my Wi-Fi. People, if it is, because yesterday I was having a bit of problems. I was on a live stream yesterday, and my Wi-Fi was going a little bit crazy. So if it is my Wi-Fi, I do apologize. I don't know what's going on. So it could be my Wi-Fi. So Static, it could be mine. So let me know. What's up, big Bishop? What do you think? Marco reacts, man. What you say, man? What you say, man? What you say? And yeah, please hit up the likes, people. Barker, am I clear? Am I sort of lagging or anything like that? Please let me know in the chat, because sometimes it does ruin a thing, but there's nothing I can do, man. You know, the problem is, you know, we work for that company.
That company, you know, that one.
That company, you know what I mean? So apologies, people, but I'm hoping that it is clear. Oh, that's great. Thanks for that, brother. And I think you're all the way. What part of is it America you're in? What part of America? Let us know, man. Let us know. Let us know. But look, yeah, D. So let's talk about. First of all, let's get the let's find the image. I've got this little new thing that's come up on my thing. I can. Oh, California.
You proper West Coast.
Yeah, man. You was in Florida for a good few years, man. So you know how it goes, man. You know what I mean? So big up to you, man, for tuning in. I don't know what time it is out there now. I think you might be a few hours behind us.
It's about 8 now, about 7 hours, I think.
Okay.
It's about 7 hours behind, 7 or 8 hours behind in California.
Yeah,
West Coast, mate. West Coast.
West Coast, man. Man. So let me just quickly find some images to share with the people. So first of all, let's look at this one first of all. You know, there's a lot of Liverpool fans out there that's looking at this and thinking, God, man, this guy, Liverpool grown, and you know, has been there from a little boy, grown up, and destined to be a Liverpool captain, to become a legend. That's what he said, you know. But listen, Ala Madrid has been tracking this guy for 2 seasons. Yeah, for 2 seasons they've been looking at this man, because they know, you know, there's a couple of players that are coming to their end. There's a couple of players that are injured. And listen, at the same time, he's got his mate over there, Jude Bellingham, as well.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, getting tapped up, mate, ain't he? He's getting proper tapped up.
You know what I mean? So for those Liverpool fans out there watching this, whether it's on playback or now, you know, I don't know if my missus is watching this, because I know she is a massive Liverpool fan, and she's got mixed feelings. JP. Big up JP. What you saying, man? Big up to you, man. Big up to you. So the thing is, for me, you know what I mean, you know, he looks like he's on his way. Fabrizio's come out there, Ornstein, all the main news channels are saying it. Big hitters have been saying it now, and it's pretty much a done deal. But it's interesting because, you know, you look at this, guys on the verge of winning the Premier League. I mean, how's that's going to go down? Like, you know, I mean, he's out injured at the moment, Big D.
He's injured.
So, listen, when it comes to that day of the parade and going around, I wonder how the fans, but there has been a massive meltdown, you know, online. You know, some people are blaming FSG, some people are calling him a rat. You know what I mean?
Nah,
and all of this. I
man.
know what your
You can't
thoughts?
call
What
this.
your thoughts?
Nah, you can't call him a rat. They offered him a 4-year contract. He's honoured his 4-year contract. To what I'm understanding, nothing concrete was on the table, even though I heard that there was a 250 a week and a potential captain's armband, but I don't know. You know what I mean? And unless he comes out and talks, which he's not going to do right now. You know what I mean? He just want to torpedo their running for the title.
Yeah, I
So
mean, listen, the press have obviously, been on at him about what's going on with his contract situation, and he's sort of
yeah,
basically kept himself out of the limelight. Says he don't want to talk about it. He wants to focus on the
yeah.
football. Whereas with Trent, especially Mo Salah, I mean, every opportunity that Mo Salah gets to say no, these
he's been
guys,
talking.
contract, you know what I mean? But listen, that's it.
But,
FC, when they come knocking, bro, it's a loud knock.
It was the thing as well, Norman, that they were saying that there was an offer for about 25 mil in January. I don't know how true that is.
Okay,
and Liverpool knocked it back.
From Real Madrid? From Real Madrid?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, for Trent, and they knocked it back. But you have to remember, you see Real Madrid, they're always going to wait for that free business, and and really and truly, if they knew they were going to go in another direction, yeah, they should have probably let him go in the summer gone, and just do a rebuild with the new manager. So you let him stay and play this season to walk out the door for free. I mean, we've been guilty of it at Old Trafford, so I'm not even trying to be shameless here. We've let decent players go for nothing. So
let's look at what Liverpool was offering Trent. I mean, this is how true it is or not, but this is I've been sort of doing some investigating. Hey, if you look at that money that they were looking to give him, I mean, 300 mil.
Sweet. Yeah.
Sorry, 300,000. Sorry. I wish it was 300 mil. A 78 million pound deal, which in fact is a lot more than what Real Madrid are offering him. I mean,
so it tells you it's not about the money, Norm.
No, I know that. And I think that the bonuses are all of that. And I think there's bonuses added to that. I think Real Madrid is a 5-year deal, something like between 220,000 pound a week. That's like an 80,000 drop that he's going to take. When I say drop, he's going to take 220. As opposed to 300,000 pound a week. They will probably offer him the captain's armband, and for him to become that legend and stuff like that. But maybe I don't know why is it that he's turning down this offer, because that is a lucrative offer. But then it's that situation where the player now is in a very strong position, especially when you let players wind. Listen, Arsene Wenger came out and spoke about this years ago, that players now are going to be running down their contracts because obviously it's going to be better for them. And they're in a strong position of power to negotiate. And not only that, as I said, Craig said it earlier on, AFC said it earlier on, when Real Madrid come knocking, it's a different knock. You know what I mean?
But this is worth saying on your post. Look at the date stamp, 5th of Jan. So last summer, you knew this guy was out of contract, and you waited to the 5th of Jan to offer him this contract, knowing full well that come Christmas Day, he was on the phone to somebody, or his agent was. You know what I mean? So it's like, were you really serious here? Because if you were serious, you wouldn't have waited until January 2025 to offer that contract. Come on, man. The Liverpool Football Club. You've got to be run better than that. And whether it's FSG, whether it's the board, whoever's in charge of structure and the future of how the club will look footballing wise, should not have waited till January this year to offer Trent that contract. Come on, man. It's either your future captain or it's not. That's how I see it, So for me, all this rap talk and all that, he's not a rap. If what we're led to believe is going to happen, he's going to Real Madrid. What he feels is the next step in his career. Yes, the TV, big up yourself, man. So
man. Listen, if you want to jump on, I've just sent you the link in your Insta. So I've just direct messaged you that. So if you want to jump on, you can come on, bro. We can talk about this. We need to talk about opportunity as well.
Yeah, so for me, it's like Liverpool fans always do this when they lose a star. Like, we at United are used to losing stars. We've had a whole Ferguson career of Ferguson falling out with star players and they walk in, the Beckham saga, all of it. So we've all lost big players, but to be slagging the playoff, he's been a good servant. He's won what? He's won both European majors in terms of, sorry, European majors, but as in Champions League and the Premier League, and he's more than likely going to win another one.
Yeah.
So plus what, FA Cup and League Cup as well. So I think a lot of people would a lot of players would love to have won what he's won for Liverpool. At the end of the day, if him, his family, his agent,
he's pretty much won everything in there.
Yeah.
I just think that he's probably looking at it that when he goes to Real Madrid, he's going to win a lot more, and I think more readily, win it more regularly. And I don't know if it's because maybe the ambitions what the FSG owner is going to do. I mean, only Liverpool fans will know that. Maybe Kofi Slot, if he's in the chat, could let us know. Is it because that maybe you're letting these guys run down their contracts? What has he had any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? In terms of players coming in, have they given him any sort of reassurances with regards to top players coming in? Because look, the way FSG are moving right now, it just seems like they just want to collect the money and run and spend it, not pull out back into the club by the looks of it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But as you say, D, they've left it, as you said, look, 5th of January, that was dated.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
They've left it. But at the same time, the Liverpool fans, have been having a go at Trent and called him a rat and a traitor and that he was lying. Now, obviously,
but he never spoke Norm, did he? The way Mo has been speaking, you haven't heard this from Trent. He just got on with his football until he got injured.
That's so what I'm saying. I don't get that. I don't understand the hate and I mean, look, I've not gone onto X and looked at what they've been saying, but I can maybe assure you, and the same sort of treatment that Miles Lewis Skelly got for even turning up, and bro, we'll talk about that. You know what I mean? As what's the name Campbell would say, is that colour thing? Is that colour thing?
Is that colour thing? Is that colour thing?
I don't know. But listen, so sorry, mate. That's a meme right now, so we have to use that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But as you say here, Liverpool are continuing talks with Trent Alexander. The delay is not solely down to finances. Considerations are centered around the competitiveness of this team, amongst other factors, and the future direction that the team will be going in. So these are some of the things that maybe Trent is looking at and just said, wow, bro, I don't want to take it. Even though, he's come out and said that he wants to be a legend of the club. He wants to be a future captain and all of that. And so a lot of the fans are really, up in their feelings, big time up in their feelings. The same thing that happened with Gerrard. Do you remember when he was linked with going to Chelsea?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. He was getting death
threats and all that. Yeah, I mean,
you have to stop
at the end
that,
of the day, he's listen, this guy's 26. Do you know what I mean? And he just say he might go to Real Madrid. It might not even work out for him. Do you know what I mean? He might go there for 2 years or whatever, and and the next thing they're selling him, and you probably end up coming back to the Premier League anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even with that squad, I'm not sure Trent is a guaranteed starter every week in that squad. They do have the older right back. I forget his name now.
It's what's his name? Oh boy, what's his name?
The guy who plays right back for them. It's gone out.
Tell me what's his name? What's the right back for Real Madrid? He's out. I think he's out. Is he out injured?
I think he's out injured at the moment. Yeah.
But he did his ACL.
But it's about experience as well. It's about life experience, not just the football. Otherwise, he would have taken the more money from Liverpool if it was just about the football. You know what I mean? Take the bigger contract offer, even though it's come late, in my opinion.
Price for that, but can't be.
There you go. Yeah, man.
People, you gotta understand that me and Big D are big money now, so. There's always kind of, what I mean? You can see how great he is, you know what I'm saying?
You know the ones, the beard is full of gravy.
Yeah, can't be off.
So I look at that. I look at that and I just think for all three of them to be in this situation, it cannot be on the players. I'm sorry, this is on the board and the club. And if FSG is just saying, run the club, here's the money we're willing to put in, then it's down to the board. This is down to the board. And maybe the board are just looking and saying, let's get these big wages off our books and go in another direction. Because Liverpool have always been a club that have really managed their wage structure really well. I think they broke it for Mo on the last one. You remember when it was Mo and Sane, and they went in the Mo direction, and Sane lost out and moved on when they probably could have evened out the money and kept both of them. That's probably the first time they've really gone wild and said, right, give Mo Salah whatever 300 plus a week to hold him down, and then sorry Sane, we're gonna have to let you go. So they've had a pattern of being very good with the wage structure, and I think that for Trent, because remember he's not the best defender in the world, but what he offers going forward kind of makes up for that.
No, and that's the thing. So I think going to Real Madrid, listen, he might not have to do too much defending, you know.
Exactly, because they keep the ball on.
They keep the football.
Yeah.
But they can use him. They can use him, you know, because remember,
inverted
tried him out as an inverted. He's tried him in midfield. So I'm sure Real Madrid will probably do that. Try him in the midfield. You know what I mean? But the one thing that Liverpool are going to miss from this guy is his set pieces and his crosses, because he puts it on a sixpence, mate. And they're going to lose that. Now I know they got that Bradley. Is it Bradley? Bradley? Is it Connor Bradley?
Connor Bradley. There you go.
They're right. I think that's his name. They're right back. I think he's currently out injured at the moment, but you know he's there. I think they're negotiating a contract with him, but he's going to be in a strong position now.
If Trent goes,
because you know when Trent's been out, he's the one that's been coming in. He's done. He's an half decent right back. Do you know what I'm saying? Irish. I think it's Irish fella.
And you have to remember as well, Norm, they're going to need to replace Robinson as well. His legs are gone.
Yeah, his legs.
So that they're in the market for a new left back as well. So to let these three, when I say let them, not offer the contracts early on those three key players, that's on the board, man. That's not on the players. That's on the board. Now, if like what we're hearing, if Trent said, well, you wait till January, you're not really serious about me. Man, Real Madrid already talked to me in November. Just let me know what time it is. So, they've dropped off. 5th of January, 2025. You're throwing that contract out there. Come on, man. You're not serious.
No.
They're not serious,
they really handle business.
Yeah.
Club like, you know what I mean? They really handle business badly. And as I say, they are, if they lose, obviously they're going to lose Trent. If they lose maybe one of, because PSG is sniffing around Van Dijk. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And he may opt for the slower football norm to prolong his career. You know, and still play Champions League football.
I'll take my up to now because you know, as much as you know, he's 33, 34?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And he's still playing at a high level, mate.
Yeah.
He's probably been one of the best defenders in the league this season, alongside Gabriel and Saliba. But yeah, I mean, he's doing his business, and he's looking at as the captain, about to lift a Premier League trophy. You know what I'm trying to say? So
if he lifts and runs, you're like, you know what? Finish at the top in England. I want a title. I'm moving on.
And I suppose this is the same for most fellas as well. I mean, if all them go, they're going at the top. They've won everything in terms of domestically and Champions League, World Cup and Super Cup and all of that. But it's just that I don't know if it's because the fact that Trent has come through the system and is out where. And
I think, that's what hurts them.
Yeah.
I think that's what hurts the fan base, that you're letting a homegrown player go on a free. At least cash in on him. And that means they should have done a deal for him to go in the summer. Whether Real Madrid will wanted to pay that money in the summer, knowing that he only had 1 year left on his contract, is another matter. So it's just bad business all around, really. And obviously he's not the highest paid player there, but he's a key player. He is part of that big four.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that he's on. I'm seeing two figures. I've seen 140,000 a week or 180,000. But if anybody cares to look it up and just let us know in the chat what is on,
probably somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, 140 or 180. But listen, it's a lot of money, and the deal that they were going to give him was a considerable lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say, if it's on 140, he's almost double that. You get me? But he's decided that Hala Madrid, I want to be out there
Madrid.
wearing that white shirt, La Blancos. You know what I'm saying? That's
Not be funny as well,
what it
Norm.
is.
You've seen that new stadium, right? I mean,
Oh, bro.
next levels,
Yeah,
mate.
man.
It's next
I
levels.
think Rio did a tour. Rio
Yes,
Ferdinand did a tour.
yeah. I watched
Bro,
it. Yeah,
bro, what a
because
stadium.
you see, even for training, right? The players' families they've got player suites that overlook the
Right, yeah.
training facility, all kind of madness, where
Yeah.
fully kitted out apartment for the family to just come and chill or whatever. And I'm thinking, what club in the world is doing that madness? That's
Bro,
levels, Norm.
it's next levels, man. And that's
Yeah,
why, this club, when they come knocking, biggest club in
exactly.
the world,
What
you know
time
what I
is it?
mean? And that's why, listen, they've been tracking Trent for 2 seasons, yeah?
Yeah,
And, he, as you said, he had that chance, or again, to sign that contract. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
don't know if during that period of time, they were offering contracts, or he said, "Well, just leave it and see what happens." He must have
yeah,
known that they were looking at. Then they must have been talking to the agents and stuff like that. Yeah. But then I suppose in the background, we need to know what really is going on. Is it
yeah.
because that the players, the reassurances of top players coming in? Because if you look at the season, the summer just gone, they only brought in Kaiser, yeah, and a goalkeeper that's on
Right.
loan.
Yeah.
So
But
he's looking at that thinking, hang on a minute, because Slot coming in, yeah, and Slot had to assess the team, and I take my hat off to Slot, what he's done with because
yeah,
nobody in their dreams, I didn't think that they would be in this position, 12 points clear of Arsenal, because we was the one,
right. What?
we didn't know
Yeah,
that there was going to be that massive drop-off with City, yeah, and we was the
exactly.
one that was going to now, challenge for the title. We are way off, right? And Slot,
Yeah,
as a new manager coming in, look what he's done with them, and and throughout the season, you can see, a lot of attention has been put on Slot. A lot of attention has been put on Trent in terms of how he's
yeah,
played. And Slot, he ain't taking prisoners, because if you ain't playing well, he's going to drag you. And we saw
yeah.
that a couple of times with him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that's the reason why Trent is decided to up and go or whatever. I just think he's probably looking at the summer just gone and thinking, right, are you going to invest? Because I haven't seen you got money.
Yeah, where's the ambition? But here's the thing, Norm. If you look how the contracts are normally done, just say it's 3 years with the option of the extension. I'm wondering if this year that he's playing now is the actual extension, the 1 year extension. Because otherwise, I'm thinking, who did his contract? That is that he hasn't got, the club haven't got an option to trigger the 1 year so that they can sell him for money. That means he's probably on the he's already on the trigger deal.
That's the same for Van Dijk. That's the same for Salah.
Sloppy.
They're all in the
sloppy.
same boat right now.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
What I'm saying?
That all 3 of them had their 1 year's triggered, and they're all on their triggered 1 year, rather than this is their last year and the club can trigger the extension so they get money for them. That's how it's normally done. That okay, you know what? He's not going to sign. Trigger the 1 year, and then he can go in the January if he wants, because we'll still get the money, whatever. But and maybe that's why they were trying to. That's why they were trying to test them and say, let's get him now on the cheap. And Liverpool said, well, obviously they would have seen how well they were doing into the transfer window, as in top of the league and stuff, and thought, well, now we don't want to get rid of him when we're on a title run, which is smart business. So they've sacrificed a title for a player, pretty much, or 3 players. So they have to go win it now. No, they can't be stumbling and let you man sneak in the back door and nick it. There can't be no squeaky bum thing.
Yeah, listen. I know last week they they went out in 2 competitions.
That's what I'm saying. And for me, I'd be like, are they vulnerable?
I know Kofi was a little bit shook, what I mean, but
yeah,
I can't see them dropping off. We ain't got, Arsenal ain't got the mentality to chase that down at all, mate. You know what I'm trying to say? We got our own issues to be dealing with, i.e. Arteta, being in charge and all of that. You get me? But it is what it is.
You guys played them again this season, though?
Yes, we played them. We played them in it's May. I think we played them. I think we played them the first week in May, it's either towards the end of April or the first week in May. And I think by that time, well, I'm hoping that we don't have to be the ones doing the doing the guard of honor.
Guard of honor.
I mean? As Barker says here, yeah. Look, if Virgil goes, Salah goes as well. What do you think that's going to be for Liverpool in the summer? Is it another rebuild, a major rebuild?
Yeah, it's a proper rebuild. Yeah, because you've just lost your spine there, apart from the goalkeeper. If all three of them go,
and the sort of money it's going to cost to replace them. Listen, they've probably got Conor Bradley coming in, so he's okay, but they're still going to need a backup for him. You know what I mean? I don't know how many players they're going to be.
And then you remember as well what I said to you about Robinson. His legs are gone, and he's been injured a lot this season. So that's another
Darwin Núñez Noodles, as we know him.
Yeah. Well, I think he wants gone. He wants gone.
Yeah, man.
That's a revolutionary. Yeah, big up yourself.
Yes, man. We saying, but listen. Yeah, I'm ready for part 2, bro. We're coming for part 2. Yeah, no. After this show, I'm back to back shows. I have to sweet up the missus and say, yo, listen, I've got a show. I've got another show. You know, big up. Please, if you haven't subbed to this guy, please go. He's doing bits, and we are the revolution. Yeah, we need a revolution.
Boy.
My man's the one's going to be doing it. Yeah, I understand.
Is Arteta in or out, Norm?
Arteta out.
Is he?
Yeah, that's why it's called the Arsenal. That's why it's called Arsenal Revolution, bro.
I hear you, man.
Yeah?
Liverpool will sign his that.
So we're going straight on this show. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
He's saying Liverpool will sign his that. I'm not convinced because Liverpool are not spending 150 million on Isaac. Trust me on that. They're not spending 150 million on him because that's what Newcastle will demand.
This is what I'm trying to say because.
Liverpool are spending that.
I mean, deep. Come on, let's deep this, brother. Yeah, they're not getting any money for these guys.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like them three go out and you got 200 million in the bank.
Mo Salah's on 350k a week right now, right? Yeah. He's wanting another 100 G's on top of that to stay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
450. He was on 450. Erlen, right? Yeah, Erlen's on 450, I think.
No, he's not. 500.
500.
We selling the man short for him.
I thought he was on 450. Okay, 500 for Erlen. So this one, Mo's going there, isn't it? Mo's going, listen, if I win a title for you, mans, and I'm looking across the northwest and seeing Erlen on 500 bags. Come on, brethren.
Right.
Allow me a 450.
Listen, bro. So look, but then the thing is now that's tied up now. And I mean, it depends on how long the deal will be as well.
Yeah,
you're paying a man 450. Look, he's 33 years old, or will be 33.
Yeah, it's just gonna be 1 year and 1 year and an extension, maybe 1 year and an extension at that age.
No, he's not gonna want that.
Listen, my thing.
Guys in the chat. What do you think?
Oh, no, you want 2 years, and he want 2 years and the one.
Yeah. What do you think that Mo Salah's going to want? He's going to want 3 years. He's probably going to either want 2 years with an extension.
Yeah.
Or to say, give me the 3 years. You understand? But at that figure, yeah. Virgil van Dijk has already said the offer that he's been offered something. He said it's not to what he didn't say that's not the very words he said, but it's not obviously. It hasn't reached his expectations. Yeah,
right.
So
because maybe he's the captain.
Virgil's on, and he's the captain as well. Yeah, he's on 200 plus. Right. Yeah. So you know, yeah. So that's going to be a large chunk. So FSG are going to look at that and think, bro, 3 years, pay this man 400 plus, 300. Yeah, something's going to have to give. So I don't think they're going to really go in the market and go and spend. They don't spend anyway because let's say they want to go the Kaiser guy for 15 mil. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, Dom, as well, because you remember when we were doing the whole Rashford thing, and I was like, it's too much money, and I'm sure some Liverpool fans are saying, okay, they've looked at Mo in the finals, and how there's been a lack of no show from Mo in the big games, and he wants another 100k. I think they're gonna look at his age. I don't see him paying it, no. I don't see him paying it, and that's the case. You should have triggered that extension and then see if Saudi came in for him while he's on that extension and done a deal and got rid, not because you want to get rid, but at least get some money.
You say 2 years with an extension. You're that line.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I think that's what he wants. Yeah. So that's going to 37 years old?
Yeah. Liverpool will put down 150 million for his sake. You think so?
Nah, bruh. They've never done it. Why would they do it now? They've never done it, Craig.
Yeah,
they've never done it, bro.
They will sell players like Coutinho for 100 or something, but I can't see them spending that kind of money.
Craig, think about it. Imagine them big three leave, and then them owners just say, "Here you go, he's 150."
I think
for one
Isak.
player.
I think Isak is going to one of the Spanish. I reckon he goes to Barcelona.
Yeah.
I reckon he goes to Barcelona, man.
I mean, realistically, Chelsea are the only ones that could afford Isak when it comes to splashing the cash. Chelsea. No, we're not.
Yeah, but
we're not paying that.
You know Chelsea already, man. I don't know if they're coming or going, bro. Yeah,
right.
1 minute they buy players and flipping them. Yeah, one minute they want Sancho, then they say, "No, man, I don't want him, man." So here's your 5 million. Take him back.
Yeah, and you have to also remember with Isak the injuries as well. There is a little risk there. He has got injured a lot over the last couple of seasons. So to drop 150 mil on Isak, it's a big knowing that you've got to strengthen the whole team, that means your budget's got to be 500 million to drop 150 on him. Otherwise, you know what I mean? If them three go, and then Alisson looks at that and says, "Actually, I fancy some retirement."
Alisson, how long has Alisson got left? Is it about a year?
I think he's got about a year, yeah. And he didn't play for Brazil last night.
They've already got a keeper. They've already got a keeper. He wasn't even. He wasn't even in the. I don't even think he was on the bench.
No, that's what I'm saying. So someone's off there. Is their best goalkeeper? I mean, we got slapped yesterday, man. It was bad. But it's Argentina. Like, if I got slapped like that against San Marino, then that'd be a problem. But I had to take that one on the chin. Yeah, 4-1. And then, what are they doing, man? 2-1. They beat Colombia 2-1 on Friday. But last night was shocking, man. Then a bit of a fisticuff as well after that. But Isak, if Isak goes,
Barker reacts to saying we're linked to Isak. But listen, Barker, listen, bro. Barcelona always find a way.
Always. It doesn't matter how broke they look.
How broke they look, man. They always find a way, bro. They always find a way, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Mo. We say Mo Bo say salute. You say, brother?
Yeah, brother.
Big up to you, man. Big up to you. How do we know that Newcastle won 150 million? I reckon you could get Isak for 130 mil. Maybe so. I mean, listen, he's stalling on. When I say he's stalling on his contract, they've kind of put it on hold at the moment. I was reading up on that.
So that does force their hand as well, Norm. They're not gonna watch Liverpool lose 3 big players like that, and they know they can command over 100 mil for this guy and sit on their hands. I think they would do a deal. So yeah, you may be right, Craig. You might get, but even still, Craig, 130. Really and truly, I only see Chelsea spending 130 like that on a striker. That's the truth. I don't see PSG because they don't like to spend their own money, Norms. We know this. Same with our owners, same with your owners. They don't like to spend their own money unless they really, really have to.
So I know. Listen, Newcastle. Yeah, I think come the summer they're going to be able to spend. Yeah, because they've been on this restricted thing. Yeah, that's right. We got to remember they're the richest club right now. Yeah, they're the richest club right now. Right? Yeah, they've got a country backing them. Yeah, but
Champions League.
You know,
this is right.
So the thing is, I think maybe Isak is looking at thinking, can we get into Champions League? Do you know what I mean? I think that's one of the criteria for him staying at the club.
Him staying,
yeah. I think that's.
What are they? Fifth or sixth? Newcastle sixth.
They're sitting fifth, I think. I think they're sitting fifth.
Let me have a look.
Fifth or sixth.
But you're right, Norm. The Champions League is they're 6 Norm, 47 points.
Right, so there's
plus 9 goal difference.
Yeah. So for me,
City are fifth.
Yeah, see, for me, bro, if you could just stay out of there, then maybe. But would he? A question is, would he choose Arsenal or would he choose Liverpool? Chat, what do you think? Would he choose Arsenal or would he choose Liverpool? Listen, Liverpool are about to lift a title. You get me? They go out to live.
Right.
They're about to lift the title. And that he will look at that and say, "Yeah, I'm going to a team. Listen, we will have Champions League for definite. Yeah,
but no,
really fall off.
More. There's more pressure going to the champions. Fact. If you go to the current champions in the summer transfer window, the expectations are through the roof. If he goes to you guys, I think it's an easier transition because everyone's just going to be, listen, man. Like, because basically they'll say if Mo Salah's gone. You are it. You are the next Mo Salah in terms of the profile and the goal scoring and all the rest of it. So if he goes to Liverpool, he has to hit the ground running, and he dare not get injured because the fans will be.
But you know what though, D? If Mo Salah stays and he goes,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot easier. If Mo Salah leaves, then pressure.
Because now he becomes him. But when he goes there, Mo Salah's already him. Everyone's like, yeah, it's Mo.
He becomes that man.
Yeah.
That man. You know. But I hear that.
This is the thing, Rom. You think you guys would drop? Well, you've done it on Rice, so you've dropped 100 million on a player before. So it's not, Arsenal never done that. But then to go a step further and drop like a 120 or 130, it's a lot of money in it.
You see, Dean, Arsenal typically, this is kind of move us nicely, segues nicely into like strikers, and for you as well. We're looking at strikers like you, like Chelsea, you know what I mean? And for us, we've been linked with the likes of Isak. Yeah, we have been definitely linked with Isak. Yeah. Yes, Leone, what you saying, man? Big up.
Leone, how you doing?
Big up to you. Big up to you.
Yes, big up yourself.
We're linked. We're linked with him. We're linked with Gokares. Yeah, we're linked with Aketik. I can't say his name. Frankfurt. Aketik. I think that's how you pronounce it.
The Frankfurt brother. Yeah.
Forgive me, people. Also Sesko. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm not feeling Sesko because it's just going to be another typical project.
Because what's Sesko? 23?
I think
22, 23?
Yeah, 20. Yeah. He scored 10 goals. He scored 10
See, a lot of pressure again. 23-year-old comes into Arsenal, expected to deliver a title. A lot of pressure, bro. In a country that he's never lived in or played in before.
That's what I'm trying to say. But the problem is, I was saying this on another stream the other day that, you're bringing in, if you bring in a top-class striker, what's Arteta going to do, with Kai Havertz? Because this man he's going to shoehorn him somewhere else, That's why I said last summer, because he was not given guarantees that he was going to start. He was going to be. How can you be the second striker behind Kai Havertz when Kai Havertz is not even a natural striker? You've got a man. You've got another brother on $265 grand a week, nursing an ACL. Won't be back until the end of 2025. We have to get shot with this guy. Crazy. Right. Kai Havertz, he's had an operation on his hamstring. The man was moving gingerly when he was fit. We're looking at him now. You understand? And the thing is that Arteta loves this guy. So he's either going to say, right, you know what? If I do bring in a top-class striker, and that's why I want Big Berta, I want the Mafia man to come in and do his thing, right? Mafia man needs to come in and do his thing, And the style of football as well, because some people say going for someone like Isak doesn't suit our style of football because we play what we deem the U-shaped football, and we play in front of we rather than pinging balls in, my man plays off the shoulder. Isak plays off the shoulder. So someone like a Dogbich, would probably be the sort of player. Sesko would probably kind of fit that. That's why they're probably looking at, as they say, that profile player. But me, he ain't got. That's right. AFC said it earlier on. He's no gunman. He is no gunman. And I don't. We've reached the end of the project. But it looks like we're on to our next one. It looks like we're on to our next
4.5. No, I'm not quite 5 yet. 4.5.
Well, look.
He told you.
This is what we got to put up. Harry Kane, we can go and get him for 56 mil. Buyout clause.
I was Harry now. No, I'm 33.
About that, He's still banging goals.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you take him?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was saying to pay the money for Harry, but no one at Old Trafford was listening to me. Especially when they went when he said he couldn't handle Ivan. Okay, if you can't handle Ivan and his attitude and his charisma, then Harry always toes the line. He's a company man. Go get Harry then. Oh, it's giving Daniel Levy that big money. Allow it, man. Stupidness. Yeah, we messed up there. In my heart of hearts, I do not believe he wanted to go to Germany. He wanted to stay because he's England captain. He wanted to play in his own country. I'm convinced of it. I don't know him personally, but I think he would have come if we came knocking, and we didn't come knocking. Because why? We're doing stupid business. So I look at it now. I'm like, at 33.
I mean,
it's way better than what we got. He's world class.
I'm just looking at some of your targets and attacking midfielders that you're looking at. On here, and it just I just read this extract from it. I got it off of Sky. Not gonna lie, Mateta is also a good striker. Yeah, from Crystal Palace, doing really well.
He's been linked with us, Norm, but some Man United fans don't want him. So I'm a little bit.
He
what do
would
we
be
want?
He wouldn't be for Man United, for Arsenal. He wouldn't be our main striker. He's somebody you would bring on. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know
And we already have that, Norm.
Yes,
Well, we already have that.
Yes. So what you're saying, man? Big up to you,
bro.
Man.
Yeah, so big up yourself, my guy.
You're good. Yeah, man. We're just talking strikers, yes, sir. And like what strikers that our various teams are linked to, and who's going to strike first, who's likely to get that top class striker. And obviously, you know, I was just looking at some stuff on Man United and who they're linked with at the moment, and they look at the same strikers we are, like Gyökeres, Victor Osimhen, someone that I'd love to get, Benjamin Sesko. D, you're welcome to Benjamin Sesko. Yeah, I'll be.
No, I don't want him. I don't want him, no.
Why? It's a good no, man. He's better. Listen, ask somebody. He's better than Højlund. He's better than Højlund.
Yeah, everyone's better than Højlund. We're all better than Højlund.
But for me, I'm going to try and tend to a João Pedro. He's 23 years old.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Doing bits at Brighton.
Where's he? Yeah.
Yeah, doing bits at Brighton. Yes, he was injured for a little bit of the season.
You know what? Sorry, I was thinking of another Pedro. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. So there's him there. You've got Cunha. Cunha's more of a tender. You know what I mean? From Wolves. I'm sure Cunha is looking for a move. 25 years old. So he's the right age. He's right where you want him age-wise. There's players out there. It's all about, for us, who we move, who we get gone off this big wage.
You're looking at you're linked with the you who I'm gonna say you go Ekete. Is that how you pronounce it?
Ekitike.
From where, Rob? From where?
TK.
I missed that one.
Yeah, my pronunciation is just.
That's I think that's the Frankfurt brother. I think that might be the one you were telling me.
Right, Frankfurt, yes, Frankfurt.
Around about 8 million euros. They're talking. Also from Juventus, you've got Kenan Yildiz from Juventus. That's another one.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Xavi Simons. Yeah, so these, you know, couple of players there. You know, some of the players we're linked with. And I suppose it's the same for you, Yasser, with Chelsea, because, you know, Jackson, maybe not the man. He might be the man before the man.
Port.
We were saying earlier, Big D was saying earlier, man, you man, I wouldn't put it past you. You could probably go and buy Isak, but we need.
Yeah, but that's what I was watching. So I was watching it while I was driving and that, and we like, you know, this 130 or 150 pounds that 150 million pounds that we had from them. Yeah, that's when we inquired for them in the summer.
Yeah,
right.
That's where the figure came from. Yeah, and as of recent, it's coming out that we're more interested in Liam Delap.
See, I was chatting to Liam Delap with JP yesterday.
Because I actually like Liam Delap, yeah, especially his profile and stuff like that. I know people, obviously, when you get a striker, a lot of the times people want the top name, whatever. But for me, this is how I look at it. You either get the top name, which is an Isak or whatever, just make sure that he plays within the way you play.
Yeah.
And then, or you get someone that is unknown, but he has all the things that you need him to have.
Yeah.
And then he suits your system. Now, how you know how Jackson suits our system? He does everything well. Our issue is that he's basically a lion without the teeth. Do you know what I mean? He's missing the very big part of what, you know, should be part of the line. That's basically the thing, yeah? So if Liam Delap can do everything that and he suits our system, he knows the way we play, it doesn't matter, because it's not, instead of spending 130 million, you basically getting what you need, which is kind of what we're doing by going and getting someone like an Ekitike or one of them cheaper versions. But if they really suit your system, then it doesn't matter that you haven't spent 150. But yes, I wouldn't put it past us to spend it. I don't see him going to Liverpool unless they sell Nunes, Jota, and what's the other guy's name? Nunes, Jota, and probably Diaz.
And Diaz. Well, Diaz is linked with Barcelona. Yeah, right? He's been linked with Barcelona. Nunes is definitely going to go. I think Nunes. I mean, I don't know how true this. I heard that I heard that he was linked with Arsenal. Get out of here, man. I don't know.
Is it?
The links were strong recently, you know. I can't lie. The links.
I know having that. No, sorry, bro.
And you know what's mad? Yeah, if you think about it, remember when he was compared to Haaland when they first came in and he scored in the Community Shield. Yeah. It'll just be like Arteta to just get the second guy. Because remember they were saying he's better, and then it turned out obviously he's not the one. And he was the one going back.
Yes, sir. Listen. This is why I can't take my club, because I remember that year, right, when we was linked with Havertz, and I thought, no, this has got to be a joke. I said, this is got to be a joke. There's no way we're going for this guy. Yeah,
right.
yeah. And it kept getting stronger and stronger.
There was no links, though. There was links, but it was done in 1 week.
That's what I'm saying.
I was waking up, I was like, everyone waking up, please don't say the contracts or the communication has broken down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting. It's like playing FIFA and you skip the days on career mode,
Man is praying for Havertz to come out our club, you know. Man is praying. And Arteta goes and gets this donkey, you know. And he's a donkey. That's what he nicknamed. He has a donkey century. So I can call him
we know,
people.
Bro. Those things were out when he was with us. When he said I like donkeys, and I was like, you know what? It's showing on the pitch as well. You know them ones.
Just mad. But you have to remember as well with Liam Delap, he's what, 21, 22?
10 goals.
And Ipswich are not recovering. They are going down. Yeah. And he's got a taste of Premier League football. He likes it. Same with Tyler Dibley as a midfielder, 18 years old.
The rumors are Southampton's asking for 100.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, yes, no one's paying them 100 once they get relegated. They'll take what they're given. You know,
I think what they're doing is they saying 100. So if you pay 70, you think you got a good deal. But they would probably let him go for 50.
Yeah, but if you know how the sales work, if you know how the January sales work, you don't get mugged off by that. You know what I mean? You know that. Listen, you buy what you need to buy for the season. This one wants
Liverpool, so they're just taking that 20 for Trent in January.
Exactly. This was Antonomsky. It's on the table, and they pushed it back. So 20 million in your hand, or he walks for free. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Because that 20 million nowadays, obviously a lot of us don't really think that way because we're fans. We just look at it the normal way. So when we dig in, we kind of find out. And I think Sir Jim was crying about it. Remember when he was saying, "I have to pay for this and that player." That 20 million could actually pay for one of those players that he can get. Exactly. It might be one of them down payments or whatever they do when they pay for a player for 1 year. So it can get you something.
And you see how Sir Jim was crying about that nonsense. Every club is run that way, you know, Norm. Every club, every summer is paying for players that are already in the team as part of the installments. But he's trying to make it out like it was unique to Man United. I'm like, you're an idiot. Shut up.
Everyone got credit cards to pay for, you know, them ones.
Yeah. but basically, what he wanted, because he wants to put up he wants to put up the 66 quid match day fee to whatever it's going to be. I'm sure he's going to put at least a tenner on that. So that'd be 76 quid for a home game in maybe here in the nosebleed, a seat in a nosebleed. People ain't paying that. I mean, if they are, then you know what? Fair play to you. You know what I mean? Like they'll say that they're real fans, but no, you're getting mugged off. And so I look at that and I just say, every team is run like that. Where if what they're bringing in the summer, very rarely you just go and give a team 100 million for a player. I'm sure when you bought Rice, that was a 4-year payment plan, like a deposit, maybe a 25 mil deposit, and then the rest of it spread out over 4 years. So when he's crying about, we got to pay 90 million for players we already have in the system. Okay, cool. Like he's looking for a sympathy from Gary Neville there in that interview. I'm like, nah, bro. Like the people that understand football know that's how it's done. No club, otherwise you'd be bankrupt. If you just taking loans out for 60, 70 million here and there, the bank would just say, right, we're freezing all your assets because you've outspent what you're bringing in now. Yeah, so it's always done like that. But he was trying to make out, obviously he's probably still a bit naive to how a football club is run, but for him to bring that up was quite embarrassing.
I think he's just upset because his 300 million literally went into like a sewers. You know, you see what he said? Money on the table stays on the table. His one just fell through. His 300 million just disappeared.
Did you
see straight into overdraft?
You see his face though, when he said, "Well, I put 300 million in, and It's gone.
It's
The way he
good.
said it, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Bro,
It's like
for
Gary
him to say that-
was looking at him like, what are you on about? What do you mean it's gone?
But this is the wild thing, because he said that the club had generated 600 million and he'd put in 3. So that's 900 million just, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
just tells you that everything is too high. All the outgoing payments, staff, whatever, it's all too much. Paying for the Glazers' private jet to come and watch a cup final. What? You're billionaires. Pay for your own jet. What is this? And this is the nonsense that's been going on. So for him to think that he was going to drop 300 mil and then he was going to see it just working for him, nah, bro. That was into, this in the black hole. And somebody with a bucket at the bottom just catching it. Like, thank you. Yeah, he got mugged off there. He got mugged off there. But at least he put his own money in. So I'm not even going to bash him for that, because these lot ain't doing that. Glazers ain't doing that. He put his own money in. So I think that will be a note to self for the next time we need an influx of money. He might just go borrow it against his company rather than saying, right, let me take that out of my personal finances or whatever.
That must be hard, you know. We didn't see that money just like, you know what I mean? Listen, I know these
That's like he's sending money to the wrong person. You know that?
It is.
You're about to buy a new car and you just send all that money to the wrong person.
Yes.
You have to call him. You have to call him, bro. And it's like, nah, I'm not giving it back, bro.
I'm looking at JP's thing here, right? And I totally get what JP's saying there. But JP, this is telling you that he didn't do the due diligence that he was saying he was doing. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a shock to him. That way he wouldn't go on there and moan about it. Because he knew the club was being run poorly and he still decided, I want a piece of that action. So yes, these are players they never purchased, but surely he ran the books with them accountants, and the accountants said, listen, this is what they owe in players already on the books in payments, which was, I think it was up in the 500 million mark, Norms, of current players in the squad that weren't fully paid off for. Wow. That was the figure when he put his 26% buying 1.4 billion or whatever it was. So if you're telling me that the stalling was to do due diligence, then I'd fire all your accountants then, Bridget, because they're rubbish. Because your accountants have got to look at 500 million, just sat on the box going, hold on. What's this 500 mil for? Oh, this is for this player, that player, that player, that player. These are the installments that we still owe on 6-7 players. Okay, noted.
Well, you're doing stuff with the trainers. JP is saying that you're saying that money's gone to the trainers.
Yes, yeah. Because Carrington, again, you let Carrington become a bit of a schoolboy. You know, we used to have these huts at school where you used to go and shower and play rugby. Freezing cold, no heating in there. You'd be like, this is terrible. This is like we're in the war. You know what I mean? Apparently, Carrington went that way where, man, it's cold in here.
Well, listen, Ronaldo came back and he basically said, how he left it is exactly how he goes, he couldn't believe that they had not invested. I mean, the Glazers let the club just run. I mean, in terms of, you know.
But you know what, Norm? And I don't know how you feel about that. But if I'm in an organization that's paying me millions a year, and I go to this place and I say, why is my place of work so dusty? I'm just getting my team together and say, listen, man, we got to come here and work out in that. Right, I found a company, they're going to come and just fit us out. Everyone got to drop 10 grand each. I'm just doing it. Because I know that I'm coming there every day.
I'll slip, bro, and just get the paycheck. You know them ones, blood.
True, I hear that.
But you know what it is, Have you heard that story? I forgot who it was. Yeah, one of those ESPN guys or one of them, like Man United journalists. Yeah, he was saying when there was pre-season tours, United never used to go to that stadium that the Americans own.
That's right.
And because they had the top facilities,
Stay to the art, mate.
They used to go everywhere else besides that stadium. So he didn't want they didn't want the players or United to go and see what they have and realize what they don't have over here. So they know they just don't want to do it, bro.
I mean,
a lot of these Americans, they got these clubs like cash cows, bro. They just make exactly money. We're gonna go over there, make a bit of money, and they send it over here, spend it over here.
Yeah.
So.
That's why there's certain times in life where you just got to just do the right thing for yourself. Like I'll go back to my background as a church musician, right? when I moved to London from the Midlands,
Yeah.
the kit in the church was my personal kit. And my pops called me and said, yo, bro, that nice kit's going to get mashed up. When you coming for your kit? I said, bro, next weekend I'm off. I'm coming. I went there, took my kit. I went to my brethren shop in Birmingham and I bought a kit.
Birmingham.
Not as good as my kit, but I bought a kit. Went back to my church in the Midlands, cleaned that kit down, put new skins on it, set it up, and put the cover on it. I sent a message to the bishop that weren't speaking to me and said, listen, I came for my kit. I bought you a new one. Have a good evening. Bam. because there's some young kids there that wanted to play. So at least when the young kids come, they say, oh, I'm in church and they ain't even got no drums. So I took my nice Pearl Export Pro series, because that was a whole expensive kit. And I bought them I just bought them, it wasn't mad, but nice enough.
It can do a job.
It.
It can do a job.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as a football player, I can't go to Carrington every day and say, look at this mess I expected to work in. I'm just saying, let's go, man. They're not going to do it. Let's do it for us. And I'm not saying every player would have been on board with that. Well, I'm sure some of the senior players would have said, you know what? Remember when Bruno was going to pay for the FA Cup thing? They told him, nah, you can't do that. Bruno was going to pay for the staff to come down for the FA Cup. He's going to pay for the coaches and stuff. And the Glazers blocked it.
What's that about?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
because
Bruno had a mindset.
Indirectly, the money's going to go to the staff, which they purposely don't want. They want that money to just go to him. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is for you. Deal with it, your thing. Don't touch the club. Yeah. Don't send the money back to us. They don't want to. They want to spend the least amount as possible. And in some ways, I hear it because it's more. They want to just kind of stay afloat until they will have money or are able to spend or whatever it is. But at the same time, some of the things that they're cutting down on, it just don't make sense.
But I
used to get sandwiches. I used to get every time I used to work at Villa. We used to get a sandwich with a drink and a fruit. Whether it was a mandarin, whatever it was, you get that. That I think basically a meal deal that you can get at Tesco. We used to get similar to it, and everyone, whether you were agency or not, used to get it. So it was like, obviously there might be a run over here at Villa, obviously because they might not have similar problems that United has, considering it's also a bigger club and also the amount of people that you're hiring and stuff like that, innit?
Yeah.
But some of the things they're cutting out, it doesn't feel like it's going to be very effective. You know, maybe cut on someone's way. Maybe if you got rid of what's his name, that left back, Luke Shaw.
There you go.
Save you a bit of money. Do you know what I mean? That would probably save you a bit of money.
I mean, not being funny. What's he on? 160 a week?
He can pay for everything that they need to pay for that week if he just bypasses his wages, isn't it? But he's too busy going on TikTok saying your mum's on benefits. Right. You know them ones.
I mean, come on, man.
So it's just one of them ones.
What about Sick? No, the one that you took from Chelsea.
That's what I'm about to say. No, $250 a week.
He's another one.
Like, So straight away, that's like what? What's that? What do they say? Nearly 400K a week, and you're not showing up for work.
Mm-hmm.
But someone that you're probably paying 20 grand a year gets fired. I mean, come on,
you can literally
it don't make sense. It really don't.
No, so 1 week of someone's wages, he can literally pay 2 or 3 people's staffs with full wages for the year,
for the whole year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and this where the optics look awful for the club, look horrible. Yeah. I think that's why Gary never brought it up when he's talking about the veterans, 40 grand a year for the veterans that they just got cut. Like, it's 40K a year, right? Like you said, the players could have just chipped in, and just like what I said for Carrington, he said it for that. The players could have just chipped in like 2 or 3 grand a pop each, and that 40 grand is taken care of. It's really simple fixing. You know what I mean?
Remember what he said? Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he said that's a great idea, Gary.
I was like, what?
I didn't think of that. What? And then he's saying, who's advising you, bro? And that just shows you, like rich people problems. He's dealing with billions. He don't care about the thousands. He's about the billions.
No, it's billions.
Because he kind of
all the millions.
Yeah, because he kind of employed Dan Ashworth before he employed his boss.
Right. Yeah.
And then obviously when the boss came in, he was like, I don't want this employee.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a weird one, but it was
just poorly run. And if you're saying that you're bringing in the best in class, then show us and show the people of Manchester, the ones that get out of their beds and go to work for the facility of Old Trafford and Carrington. You know what I mean? Someone's got to clean it. Someone's going to maintain it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know, there's for me, Sir Jim's giving me trend vibes. You know, he's telling me I'm from Manchester. I'm from Manchester, born and bred. You know what I mean? And then any mistakes he makes, he seems to be doing things that you know what I mean, that aren't actually helping the people from Manchester, bro.
It's a little bit suspect, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean, but just quickly, the situation, sorry, with Sancho, before we move on to next week, because I'm conscious of time, so I've got to be on another stream.
You good.
But, you're willing to pay the compensation? Yes, 5 million back to Man United.
5 million. How's it only 5 million?
Listen, I'm taking. Listen though, that's funny because you need to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching Saeed the other day, and he was saying, "Since when's an obligation on obligation?"
I know, but obviously someone put something into that contract. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you guys really needed to get rid of him at that time, and I think they kind of strong armed him in taking whatever contract he was at the time. But I think for me, the way Sancho's rated in Europe, we can buy him for 25 and still move him for much more in any other country in Europe if we don't really want him, if that makes sense. Yeah, 5 million. I don't know, man. I don't, he's basically been our best winger this season. He's dropped off since January. But technically Palmer's dropped off. Everyone else kind of has dropped off as well, yeah. And he hasn't really got support on that left hand side, so he doesn't really get a Cucurella overlapping.
The thing is, Ez was saying Chelsea. Ez, he's not on the chat chat on tonight, but Ez was saying, like in our chat, he was saying, I think, you know, we was kind of going in on Sancho, and he was basically saying that because he hasn't got anybody to feed, you know, right?
Yeah, and then a striker.
So let me explain this to you, Norms. Yeah, you see with Sancho, remember when he had CR70, he has someone to pass that ball forward to, and then he can make runs alongside them, or run towards them, get a 1-2, pass it wide, that kind of thing. He has less people to pass to. It's always into midfield, or he has to cut in and beat a couple people, and then he still just passes the ball on, But with Sancho, he's more of a safe player. You know, the players that we don't like a Garnacho and stuff like that we know that just keep doing the same thing. Right. Sometimes you want to do the safe thing, right? Sancho basically he'll do the safe thing, right? But people want him to take more risks. But at least he's doing the safe thing.
Yeah, right? He tries to retain the football. Exactly.
Yeah, he'll keep the football. He won't lose you the football. He tries best to keep it. Second, he's not really a person who just spams shots left, right, and center. I think he mostly shoots when he thinks he'll score. Right. So he's not like similar. I think Hazard was similar in that sense as well. Like that's why one of the reasons he doesn't get a lot of goals. He never really always shoots. If he was in front of goal, he'll look at it and he's like, okay, that's the strike. I'll just pass it to him. Yeah,
but more
he will. He kind of wants to guarantee the goal, kind of thing, before he just shoots and hits the post. But as Cucurella's not overlapping him. We inverting Cucurella, and then you also we even inverting the right back sometimes at the same time, or one's inverting the other, wherever. Yeah. And I think from when he had the target in front of him, he played really well in Dortmund with Haaland when he had the target. Yeah. Similar with what the issue we have with Pedro Neto, who keeps crossing the ball into the box, but there's only Cucurella in there.
Exactly.
We're not really crossing to anyone. And Jackson's not really good with his head, so there's no point crossing it to him. So I think those are some of the parts of the reasons why we haven't seen the best of Sancho. But I have seen flashes from him.
So yes, would you keep him?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with him it's more his.
It seems like a lot of Chelsea fans. You're probably one of the minorities. Want him gone
because a lot of people have this idea that a winger always has to be a goal scoring winger. Everyone has to be like Salah. Right, everyone has to score goals from the wing. Not every winger can do that or is that type of player.
Yeah.
So a Leao is different to a Sancho in profile, but also maybe in the way he thinks he plays. So we also seen what Salah done against Mendes. But if you remember last season when he faced Nuno Mendes, he was the best player against PSG, even though Mbappe, Dembele, and all of them people were there. So it just depends on the way the player plays. And sometimes you also need different profiles. So when we used to take Sancho off in the beginning of the season, at the end of the game, if we were drawing 1-1 against Nottingham Forest or whatever it was, you bring in a Mudryk that has that 99 pace that can stretch the game up. He might not be good. He might not have that quality, but he has certain qualities that you can exploit just in that period of time in the game.
Yeah.
So even if he's been poor, sometimes Sancho can play on the right. We've seen him play in the Conference League on the right.
Yeah.
Literally a 10 out of 10 performance. We said collectively as Chelsea fans, we don't really want to see him in the Conference League anymore. Keep him in the games above. He literally just bullied them.
Yeah, but he can play in the 10 as well. Sancho can, he can help out and play the 10.
It was one of my criticisms of Maresca when obviously Palmer kind of dropped off. I felt like he could give him a run in the 10. Or even false 9, because remember before he left, he played false 9 in pre-season, but then the manager never played him in the false 9.
Even that was a madness. You actually set him up. Ten Hag mugged him off. And a lot of people won't talk about that, but he actually had a good pre-season in the false 9, and then never started a single game there. And it was like, why would you take him on pre-season to do that and not just say, okay, we've done this in pre-season, just roll with it.
And then but the season started, he was on the bench. Straight
right,
away.
exactly. Watching. And again, as we know, the favourites got Ten Hag sacked, which is normally happens in management, where you just keep going with the favourites, hoping they're going to get you out of jail. Them said favourites are the ones that get you fired. So I think he mugged him off, and then we had the big fallout where he called him out when he wasn't even on the bench. You imagine you lose a game when you call out a player that's not even on your bench as a scapegoat to why you lost the game. And I wonder if that was by design as well. I don't think that was a coincidence. I think something in his heart told him that he's gonna have to make a scapegoat to save his job, and he just said Sancho's it because he's not here. He's not on the bench. He didn't play in the game, but I'm gonna bring him up. And then for everyone to say, "Oh, he's your boss, so don't say nothing." Bare time I've accepted my boss in my career and say, brother, that's not it, my friend. There's a better way to do this. Pick the phone up. Call me into the office. Why are you going to a board meeting and bringing my name into that? Don't do that. Because when I come to work, I do my job. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for Sancho, but I'm not sure what you expected there. What, you're just going to dog him out in a game that he wasn't even present in? And man was just going to... These kids live on social, bro.
I follow a lot of United content creators because obviously I think one of my favorites is Ransom Bands and Saeed and all of them. I've heard the whole Sancho story, but I wanted to ask you, have we ever seen proof of Sancho not being a good trainer, or is that just like a rumor thing that started?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So
like, it's an easy narrative to spin, isn't it? Because you have to remember, it's only a select people that are allowed to come into Carrington, into you guys' training grounds as well.
Yeah.
So it's only and they're normally the sports journalists that are cherry picked that actually are on the club payroll. That way they don't dog out the club too badly. Even if they bring something up, it's done in a very respectful way to the club.
Yeah.
Because they get full access to obviously press conferences and to Carrington training. And I would love for one of them to come out and say, I've been at Carrington and watched him train. He's training as hard as everybody else. So we're not sure what happened. This was more about something that happened in a meeting behind closed doors. I don't think it was training. I just don't think it was training.
No, because remember, this is the thing that's always been, because we've never seen any proof. It's always been the thing they like. Even the salty United fans have been getting onto him about. Even now at my club, like he's at my club playing well. The people that are cussing him out on Twitter are United fans.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
he's done. He's left. So what's the problem?
But yes, I do know. If you say something, if you keep saying something,
it becomes the thing.
The mud sticks.
You know what I mean?
So this is the thing with him. Yeah, he's coming. You know what changed my mind? Because I thought maybe his career was kind of gone at some point. Like even watching him at United, he was doing the thing where he was just literally just passing him sideways and back the whole time.
Backwards,
He wasn't even trying at some point, and I was like, maybe he's just, because remember, young players as well, when they keep doing that same thing, it becomes their game. They're not really improving, so they end up just doing the same thing, and then you realize over time he's never reached that potential or whatever, right? He's just gone at the wrong club. I never thought United was the right club for him anyway, because he's more of a possession player, not counter-attacking.
Right.
If that kind of gives you an
because
idea.
he doesn't have that counter-attacking pace.
Yeah, even
For
though he
what?
did play counter-attacking a little bit with Dortmund, it wasn't
Yeah.
to the level of like how he
Yeah,
did
it
with
wasn't.
Oli,
Yeah, it
like where
wasn't
he
how we were
literally
playing.
sit back and run.
As
And
in,
then
we play Chelsea, we play Chelsea, we play Arsenal. We give them 70% of the ball. That's how
but
Ten
you
Hag
can't
was playing.
maintain it. You struggle to keep it because your
Right,
players are used to just running from one side of
right.
the pitch to the
And
other.
so you're waiting for a mistake from you guys
Mm.
for us to counter attack.
Counter,
This
yeah.
is why Rashford got used to just running into brick walls
Mhm.
with his head down, where there
Yeah,
was a pass there, Marcus, but you just running where you're running to, bro.
yeah.
Pass the ball. And so
Sounds a bit like Martinelli.
But yeah,
you
they're
know,
the same thing.
they're very similar. Yeah, very similar.
Similar.
Yeah, they're very similar. No,
Yeah.
but
And that's why, you know what changed it for me though, D? When he went to Dortmund on loan.
yeah,
When he went
yeah,
to Dortmund on loan, I was like, you know what? The player's still there. Whatever
still there.
issues he had over
Yeah,
there, he still got
yeah.
it. He just
And
needs
then
to
You
I
know
do
what?
wonder the physicality of the league. Like we talk about this a lot.
yeah,
You hear a lot of the journalists speak
physically.
about is this league just too physical for certain players, and then you
Yeah.
see them go abroad, back to
And then they
Spain,
perform.
Italy, and they're performing, and
Anthony.
you go, well, yeah, actually, yeah. I think
Anthony,
that's
yeah, yeah.
I think that's a real thing. I think that I think that's just a real thing with the physicality as well. Because if you watch Zerksky, right?
Yeah.
I think he came against you guys, Norm. You man's your setbacks was kicking lumps out of him, right? He kept moaning to the ref. And then he realized this is the Premier League. Ref ain't giving me nothing here. Because every time I get the ball, bam, they hit him. And he gets off the floor like, what? That's a foul, bro.
I mean, first half, he was getting licked up, but
Yeah.
second half,
That's what I'm
he done a
saying. I
lot better.
think in the end, someone had to just shake him and say, listen, Xerxes, this is it, you know. Them big burly centre backs are going to kick lumps out of you and watch you bow to the referee. And the referee said, get on with the game. Get on with the game, son. Welcome to the Premier League. And so I actually welcome that baptism of fire. I think it done him a favour and us. I think you guys did him a favour and us a solid because now he's not doing that now. He's not. What was that about, Messi? I just saw that one. That wasn't even.
So this one here, he's right, bro. Listen again. So if he's playing like this, I mean, Rashi, bro, head down, right. This is Latvian defenders, you know, Albanian defenders. What's going on, man?
So you imagine him playing Argentina, playing like that? We just slapped my team 4-1. You imagine? So what happened to Rashford takes on ability.
You know what? I want to kind of tie this into the next thing quickly. But just sort of to say, look, with regards to what club strikes first, you know what? It's probably going to be Chelsea. They always seem to just. I mean, listen, they've already got two players that they've really got in the bag. They're going to put one of them out on loan, and the other one, you know, they're bringing in for the 2025 season. I think Chelsea strikes first. Who they go for in terms of like a striker in the summer? You know what I mean?
I can't be mad at Chelsea, no. I can't even be mad at them. If Chelsea just said, "Chat, we're doing what we're doing," so be it.
I'm just surprised. And some people say, yes, they spent a lot of money, but the problem is, and Yasser will know this, that they spent a lot of money on kids. Yeah. And I think under the Roman era, man was buying ready-made players, world-class players, to go and hit the ground running and win those trophies. You're not going to get this.
In the Roman era, we had 40 players on loan.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. So no one cares about how many kids you buy, as long as the starting 11 is good. Do you get what I'm saying? So with this thing, it's kind of like, you know what it is? What they're doing, they're kind of gambling, innit? In terms of, it's a high risk, high reward thing. If these players all come off, we're gonna be a very, very big problem.
Yeah, because that's why they signed them. That's why they've signed them on these long contracts.
But yeah, it's something that we spoke about though, Normski, is that no one sells players like how Chelsea sells players.
Yeah, so we can
players that barely touch the first team. You guys are dropping 30 million. You're like, how?
They've got it locked down. They've got that market.
So I look at that, and I'm jealous, Brethren. I'm jealous of that. The way you can move players on. We can't do it.
Us and you, we ain't doing that, bro.
Can't do it.
Yeah, we're giving players away, or we're tearing up their contracts. That's what we're about, bro. Yeah, we're not about that life.
Right.
You know, leave that to Chelsea. They're about that life. But I think what gets thrown at Chelsea, and it'll be like, you know, when they played us, you know, you had the top Arsenal fans come out and go, oh, you, what, 1.5 billion spent, you couldn't beat us. Listen, who cares? Where are we in the league? We're second, 12 points behind Liverpool. Yeah. How about think about ourselves? You know what I mean? That game last week or the week before, whenever it was, that was just like a training ground game. Listen, it was absolutely boring.
It was so poor.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was rubbish.
No, you know what I mean? I'm not looking at it going, oh, you know, Chelsea just spent $1.5 billion and they couldn't beat us at the Emirates. And it was a boring game where we won it 1-0, where our IT solution, Moreno, scores the goal. Right? You know,
and that's partly Sanchez's
that game,
fault.
Exactly. And the thing about it, that game meant nothing. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't lead to nothing because we ain't winning the league.
Yeah. It meant more to us. This is the thing, Nomsky. It was very important for us because we needed to get whatever points we got to get to the top.
Exactly, because of the Champions League team. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
This is the thing. This is why I was annoyed at the way we played, innit? But at the same time, it's just sometimes the focus is just on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I mean that was the reason why Haaland came up with the stay humble thing. Just look at your own plate. You know what I mean? Just look at what you're eating. Stop looking at what everyone else is eating. Do you look at bro? It just yeah, man.
Right, let me where is it? Okay, here we go. Let me just do this in the next second. Right, I'm gonna play you some audio. Let me just. Okay. Right. Okay, right, and this is going to be like the next thing. Just want to quickly have a listen to this.
Yeah.
Like a different sport, basically. 20 years ago, there weren't stats. We weren't wearing GPS vests out there. We weren't doing all these things. You used to do meetings about oppositions, but not as much. You know, it was a lot of it was 4-4-2. You know, play in their half, win your duels. Obviously, that's still in the game now, but you know, there's so many patterns of play. There's so many. It's more robotic. You know, especially the top teams. You know, when you watch football in the Premier League, you know, it's so robotic, and there's no mavericks out there. You know, in my days, there was the Ronaldinhos and them kind of players that was just great to watch. So I don't watch as much football as I used to. Not because I don't love it as much, but just because, you know, some of the top games aren't enjoyable to watch, and that's just my personal view because there's no mavericks out there.
I agree with you. I think the top level of football is lacking characters. Is that something you'd like to see? More mavericks in the game, more players playing off the cuff?
Yeah, I think they do, but I don't know if they actually will be, because the way the kids get brought up in the academy these days, and you know, the running stats and how hard you've got to run and certain things like that to make it, I don't think there will be. And that's the sad thing about it. Like, on the top of my head, I can't think of a Ronaldinho or R9 or Gaza, you know, George Best or Taraps, you know, someone just like, even in, like at that kind of level, like to play like that. I don't think you probably have to think of one. Literally is doing that. Obviously, you've got the likes of the good English players like now, like Phil Foden, and you've got Jude Bellingham, who's England's hope. He's a fantastic player, but you know, he's half a robot. Like he will cover the most distance. He will score you a goal here and there, or more than here and there. But he's not going to get you off your seat and you know, make you go buy a ticket. But that's the top players. And Haaland the same. You know, he's just an absolute machine. But he's not a maverick. But that's just the game, how it's changed over the past 20 years that I've been playing.
Is that not good for the lower leagues? Because obviously fans are going to get to see players that they can relate to, the sort of players that they want to see.
Yeah, I believe that. I think if you went down the leagues, you probably see, you know, more players, you know, more free-spirited. Maybe that's why they're in the Football League and are not at the top, because they haven't got that side to them. And it's a bit off the cuff. There is some good players, you know, in the Football League, Championship, League One, League Two. There is some really good players, and you know, maybe they'll get their move after that and to the top, and maybe install it to them, or that haven't worked out in the top league and they come back down into lower leagues. But you know, there is some good quality players in the Football League, and I feel that people, you know, when you watch it on telly, I speak to some people and they say they'd rather watch EFL than a top game these days.
How do you reflect on your time in the Premier League? Because one thing we can be certain of, you weren't robotic.
No.
Well, I'll leave it at that.
No, I enjoyed it.
I'll leave it. That was Mark McGoldrick plays for for what you call it,
Brentford.
for Sheffield United, yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Sheffield United. That's it. Yeah.
And all right, I thought
It sounded like Troy Deeney. I thought it was Troy Deeney. You know?
No, it's not Troy Deeney. But this was sent on another chat. So I put in our thing as part of the menu, the international menu. Yeah. System football against free flowing. Which one gets us over the line? Now we could say, right, that in this current series or seasons, like the past couple of 5, go back, say 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, the likes of Pep been quite successful for him. We can say yes, it's got him over the line. But Pep knows how to play. Pep knows how to play that system. But the question for me is, we've been talking about it: system football, robotic football, pragmatic football. What are your thoughts, quickly, gentlemen, on that and what you just heard from this guy? Is he right in terms of what he's sort of described? Because when we used to watch football back in the day, it was fantastic, free flowing football. Man United playing that counter attack football, whereas Arsenal playing that possession based football. Yeah. Yes. Sometimes we were guilty of trying to walk it into the back of the net, but still, you know what I mean? It was off the cuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And even sometimes to the point where we used to say, we was quite naive because we used to be kind of going, oh, especially when we used to play against you guys. Do you know what I mean? But quick, guys, what are your thoughts quickly on what this guy said about modern day football compared to the football, say, 10 years ago?
Well, this is the problem, Norm, that systems football has been such a thing, as you say. Pep's made it a real thing. And like, I watch Man United play, and I go nuts with how many times we just play from the back. I'm like, get rid of this thing, especially when you're under the cosh. Just get the ball up. And this is the whole point about having a striker that can hold the football up. Get it up to your striker or your big central midfielder or something. But I feel like you're watching the game and you're just waiting for somebody to not follow the script. As in, just take the ball and just take on 2 men and bang it top bins. That really happens now because of the way it's, keep your triangles, keep your shape, keep your space, move the ball up, recycle it. If another one, go up, the crossover ball to the other winger. He runs down, he checks back, he passes it back to the defender, comes across, back to the goalkeeper again. You're like, how's the ball back at the goalkeeper? And you watch it and you just see time and you're like, man, this is a hard watch. And until someone scores a screamer, you're only half engaged because you know exactly what it's the worst cat and mouse, I think, in the football era that I've seen. And he's right, there's no Mavericks there because if you're a Maverick, 9 out of 10 times you're going to get benched the next game for playing that way. So I think that for me, I'm an off the cuff football man every time. But I know that may not win you a league now because of the way everyone else.
I was going to ask the same thing. Let me just quickly ask Justin because I know he's got to shoot off on another.
So
another
for
stream.
me, there's different ways of playing. The system way has been the kind of recent thing that Pep's been doing. That basically everyone's looking at almost like a winning formula in some ways because it's kind of been proven that it wins. But if you remember that PSG team with the Neymar, Mbappe, Messi and stuff. Sometimes if you ain't got a system or player specific, you can do the whole freestyle thing, but it might not work. Yeah. So a lot of managers are looking at it. Well, the current way to defeat what we do in is play a system against a system, and then I think the quality overrides whether you win or not almost. So if the system is doing well, and then you have the quality can take you over the line. If that kind of makes sense, right? So because some of the players are better than the other guys' players or whatever, so they do better. Or the way some managers play as well is that the system's more specific in defense and midfield, and then the attackers have a bit more freedom. Do you get what I'm saying? So they might press and do whatever they do, but when it comes to them attacking, they kind of do whatever they do. We might even seen it. I think with he didn't really have a system, in my opinion. Klopp, it was more cause chaos and hit everyone on the counter, but it was more. Right, you could see Salah on the left all of a sudden, and someone else on the right, and do you know what I mean? It's a bit more free flowing. So it has the game has changed, but then you have someone like Maresca in the beginning of the season, where we used to say, well, he kind of does.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Kind of does what Pep does, but he gives the attackers a bit more freedom, because we did
Mm.
have a bit more freedom. Remember with Palmer going wide, people kind of moving around, because it did feel like we had more freedom. But those kind of managers sometimes do go back to default setting, you know, and then
And that's what's and that's what's happened. And remember, a lot of these guys have come under played. When I say played under Pep, that they've gone under tutelage in terms of whatever. That's why you know they're trying to do. And listen, Pep does it and he does it well. But I'm not gonna lie, the football is really boring. Not gonna lie, but it's very effective. Yeah, when it works, it's very effective. But
100%.
that off the cuff thing, that's what I want to see. And I think, well, you know, he puts in the chat here. Forest this year, perfect example, control chaos. I'm looking at Forest. I'm looking at Bournemouth. Who else is there? Brighton. Yeah, those kind of. Do you know what I mean? It's just like they take risks.
Forest is more of a system, and it definitely the system, but they also have the right profiles of players. They might not have the best players in that specific put in the positions, but they have players that do the job. So the whole system works well in all of them together. They also have like an experience.
But what I'm trying to say though, I suppose the question I would ask is that when you watch Forest play, does it look robotic to you, or does it look more kind of like old school football?
No, it's more old school for me. It's more the way they just go down them wings and terrorize man. Yeah.
It's more free in the back. Yeah. And it's actually a free in the back. So it's not just free in the back in attack or in defense and 2-5 or 3-6-1 in attack. And no, it's just they play in that one way that they're playing. And I think when everyone's used to playing systems, and then all of a sudden one manager comes in and he's playing the opposite, like what Klopp did for a bit, it kind of shakes everything up. So you have Nuno coming in doing his own thing.
That's why, that's why. I know you got to go. That's why I think when Pep came up against Klopp, it was for him that was his nemesis. Yeah, as much as you know what I mean, because he's like, bro. You know?
The one thing Pep can't play against is not can't play against, but the one team, the one type of system that he does not like is counter-attack. The D will tell you.
If you look this year, a lot of their games, because they press up so high, and the thing about it, because they're not as good on the ball as they were before. Because when Man City keep the ball, they keep the ball. But
you couldn't get it off.
They lose the ball, you're on them, and that's why they've lost 9 games this season, people.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that's their problem, and the reason I said that's their problem because this season it didn't matter what kind of team it was. If you hit them on the counter, you'll have a chance. But at the same time, with City, you almost feel like it doesn't matter what kind of mistakes they make, they're paying for it. So it's not like once in a while they're getting away with a lot and they're making a mistake and they're paying for it. Literally every time they make a mistake, they seem to be paying for it. Maybe they're also paying for everything else in the past at the same time.
You know what it is? City, listen, it's unheard of. This is their worst season by far. And City, the City, people can say, Rodri's not in the side, but I don't think that would have made a difference. But City at their peak, might have lost maybe 1 or 2 games. And that would be just like a flat, like, oh my gosh. We've looked and seen how many games they've lost this season, even in Champions League, in other cup games and stuff like that. So you can see that the system is literally broken down. It's come to a halt. And he hasn't got a clue how to get out of it. Now he's obviously gonna have to buy his way out of it. And that's what he's done. And there's gonna be a few players that he's gonna be letting go. So that's the next subject I'm gonna go on quickly. So I know you got to go. I got to wrap up in a bit. So listen, what you got coming up? Obviously, what you got coming up, and just name,
I think the next thing that's coming up for me is probably I'm gonna try and do a Tottenham preview with someone. I got someone in mind, but if you want to find out who it is, then you got to come to the channel and see. It's one of them ones. You know what I mean?
It better be expressions. It'll be expressions. You're finished.
I'll get cooked at it, but it's a bit too early to get expressions on me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll do it when my season gets better. You know, when my team gets better, I might try to get him on. But obviously, we're gonna do that. Obviously, the watch alongs are also gonna come back. Because I kind of kept that quiet for a bit. I decided to get my match fitness up after I went away for a while. Because remember, I went to Norway and came back, and I thought, nah, I need to take a jump on a few channels, and then get the match fitness back up when you get away from.
I like that analogy. I like that
I'm a bit
analogy.
happier than I was before, but now I'm good, man. Obviously, you can find it on Yasser TV. Make sure you hit the likes on the video, subscribe. Big up the D and obviously Norms for every time, man. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Respect,
appreciate it, man. Anytime you're ready, I'll be happy to come on your channel, man. Just let me know, man. Pick me up,
yeah? Yeah, I'll get you. I'll get you.
Up.
Yeah, cool. Big up.
Bless up, man. Bless. All right. Yeah, D. So just quickly, I just want to finish with this. Because I am running late. I'm running late, like, you know. But this one here, let's quickly do this. So I've got this new here we go. Right. So D, just quickly share this. As you can see here, some players there on the front of your screen. If you can see that, you can't see the writing. So I'm just going to quickly read this. As the MSC Galaxy major breaking, Man City have informed Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Jack Grealish, John Stones, Bernard Silva, Mateo Kovacic, Edison Moraes to find a new club at the start of the summer transfer market, as per Belgian journalist Sacha Tavarelli. Now, this is obviously major. There has to be a major rebuild. Listen, we've talked about Man City in terms of their form this season. Absolutely terrible. Losing 9 games. They're currently sitting 5th at the moment. I think they will make Champions League. They've maybe got a chance of winning some sort of silverware, the FA Cup. They're still in the FA Cup, so we'll see what happens there. But listen, they had to go and do business in the January windows, spending up to 200 million on centre back. Also, a backup for Rodri in terms of the midfield, and a Mamouche from Frankfurt, very good player they got. So they've kind of set the foundations, but I think they will go big in the summer. They've got the money to go big in the summer. These men have got money. But with a lot of these players that are aging players that are going big D, you're looking at my boss, that is ruthless. That is proper ruthless. And they're legends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's ruthless. It is ruthless, man. What
you know what? Well, for me, he's ruined Grealish as a footballer. I think Pep ruined him personally. Yes, he's won the titles, but has he won the titles happy? Maybe not. You know what I mean? And you're seeing him there with the drinking issues there, being caught away from football, worst of way. KDB's legs have gone numb. Absolute legend, but it's a physical league, like we spoke about earlier. That you'd hate for him to have another bad injury in the Premier League. Nah, he needs to go somewhere a lot slower. Probably warmer climate, less rain than Manchester and
he's on about 550 a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's on huge money. So we can't pretend either that the wages don't come into it. And he's really just a part bit play. If you look how Pep's using him now, it's almost like how he phased out the striker. Remember when he's playing the false 9 and he had the striker Maradona's son-in-law sat on the bench. It was like, what is Pep doing here? I feel like it's been the same way with De Bruyne. Gundogan, I think they expected the Gundogan they let go to come back, and it hasn't quite worked out. So that one doesn't really surprise me. He's going young. I think you're going to see a lot of young players given opportunities in the summer, Norm. That's what as Yazza was talking there. You're looking at a Liam Delap. You're looking at a Tyler Diblin. I think these are sort of players that I feel that we'll all be trying to go after to rebuild in the rebuild and mold them into the way, whatever it is, the Arsenal way, the Chelsea way, the Manchester team's way, the Liverpool way. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's like you said, who shoots from the hip first when it comes to pulling the trigger on these deals? Because I think whoever, whether it be your scouting, your deal makers, whoever is ambitious enough to go early and try the waters, test the waters. That's the one. Test the waters first. I'm excited for the summer because I'm looking who we're going to lose by what we call natural causes out of contracts and decent. All the ones we're losing out of contract are all on decent money. It's only Casemiro that is still in contract. Everyone else that's going by natural wastage is great for the club. And like I say, we got to move early. So I look at the team they've put together to do our business. Yeah, I got to put some faith in Barada and them, Jason Wilcox. I think Jason Wilcox is the key for Tyler Diblin because he's got big Southampton links from back in the day. So after that, I think we're fighting against all the big clubs around Europe for this talent. You know
but do you think, just coming back to Man City, do you think with losing all those players, do you think they will go again in the new season? Or do you think it's going to affect them? Because it's quite a few players. Or listen, they've already started spending. They're going to spend again.
Yeah,
Pep ain't going nowhere. The 115 charges, Jason is open, and we'll kick him by then. We'll see what happens with that. But I think they're bust case. I think.
Yeah, slap wrist and a huge fine.
Do you think that they will be challenging again? Or
Yeah.
do you think they'll be challenging, or do you think they'll be favourites?
Challenging. I think it's wide open.
I'm going to ask you a question. Who do you think is going to be favourites for next season?
It has to be you guys still.
Stop it, Dad. Stop this.
No, it has to be. It has to be.
Why?
Why? Because I actually think this guy coming in, your new director of football, I think he handles Arteta. I think he settles him down. I think he little mans him and says, "Listen, I will get you fired, my brethren."
What's it? Cheese writing? The cheese man?
He right. I think you'll see a bit of a turn in the tide in the way you buy as well, Norm.
Yeah.
Because I think you'll tell him, forget about what you did with Pep. We are at Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
So
stop
I'm here.
Stop trying to be Pep.
Yeah. Basically, be your man.
Arsenal,
yeah.
City
so it's more about holding on to your spine. I think your spine is still very good, apart from the striker. If you look at the midfield, you look at your back, look at the goalkeeper.
We're gonna lose Partey, Jorginho. We're losing Zubimendi, but I mean Zubimendi is linked to Real Madrid, is linked with Barcelona. So even though they said, they've tied up this deal, which is a back clause, how's that? I think they just put that out there because when we was going through a rough period, they said, let's just chuck that out there so the fans can get happy. So but for me, we've got a lot to do in terms of our midfield.
If you look at it,
the left back. And obviously the striker situation and some tackling the players, especially on the left hand side, we need to be dealing with that as well.
And so this is why the window is so important. And you're hoping that our clubs, both mine and yours, are talking already talking to agents.
That's great. I
know they've been scouting.
I want to see that dotted line. Gokares holding up a shirt and go, "Yo,
right."
Next to not next to Arteta, man. Next to Big Berta. Yeah,
right.
Berta, do the deal.
I think I was saying to JP that whoever comes in the summer needs to go on that tour. This is key. Like then we're doing no business in the last 8 days of the window. I want these guys on the plane to America to gel with this team. I think every time we've done business where players have gone on tour, it's just a different player you see rather than a player coming in to Carrington with a week to go to start the season, thinking, what the heck? Why did he bring me in so late? Now he's feeling the pressure before he's kicked the football. And so I'm hoping with this new regime, this is no longer the Bristol University bankers. These are footballing people, your Omars and your Jason Wilcox. I really hope that well, they say the scouts have already been out because like this whole, but they sent scouts to watch Tyler Diblin. And everybody was saying they're buzzing about this kid, like we got to make this happen. So that's one. But just say if you go for a Liam Delap, which what Chelsea were talking about, at 21 he needs to learn off a senior striker. So we still need a Harry Kane, somebody senior. And like I say, if Harry's a light 50 mil, I think you roll the dice. I think he's still got 2 seasons in him. You roll the dice on Harry. And let a couple of these young cats in. If you keep Hoyland, I was saying to JP, I'd rather keep Xerxes because at least I can play Xerxes in a way that you got to improve on your goal scoring, but I also know that I can play him in the 10 and he's very effective. He holds the ball up. He plays in the wingers. I like that. He offers way more.
It's quite versatile. Probably, He might be. What do you think? Is he probably better in the as more of a kind of deep? Not saying deep,
you know what?
Like
he's got that. You said his Bergkamp thing, though.
You saw you say 9.5. He's like a 9.5 striker.
But he's got a bit of Bergkamp in him, which is actually a tip of the hat to what a bad boy Dennis Bergkamp was. But he's got to add the goal. This was I said to JP in the week when we were talking in the week. I said, Jay, I'm keeping him, and I'm praying he adds the goals to his creativity, to his hold up play, to his his feet are brilliant. Norm, he's got great feet, and so I look at it and say, I think he's had his baptism of fire, been booed off the pitch, which I think was shocking because everybody was woeful, and the manager had to. He didn't have to even do him that day. He could have waited till the half time. He didn't have to do him like that because I think that really shot his confidence for those next couple of months. But I think he's got through that. He's gone through being booed off the pitch to the fans singing his name. And that's hard to do in one season. Once they boo you, very rarely they're going to make a chant about you. So he's got to tip his own hat to say, yeah, take a bow, son. But in the summer, I'm working on my finishing if I'm him. And I'm becoming him. I'm becoming someone that I look at Old Trafford and said, man, this guy will go for 100 million if we sell him now because he got everything. I think the goals is what is lacking. I think everything else he's worked on very well. But yeah, it's like for both of us, Norm, getting them guys in early, getting them guys on the pre-season, gelling with the team, knowing, and more than one formation as well. I think both of our teams got to learn to play in more than one formation. I think that's where we get messed up.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That rigidness, you know? So for me, I'm excited if we get gone who we need to get gone. If Sancho's gone, if Rashi's gone, that's
even going to Chelsea. I mean, he's linked with going to Chelsea as well.
I actually don't mind that. He might actually suit them better than us because look how long it took Ruben to stick him on the right. He just left him on the left, keep running down these broad alleys. Like, if he's on the right, he's forced to play a different game of football, which we saw in the last couple of games. And that's why I didn't want the window to come. Not the window, the international, because I just thought we had turned a bit of a corner. Bam, international break. It's like, here we go. So for me, but if a good offer coming for Garnacho, I'd sell him, and I'd look at some more equipped, not one dimensional. That's why I like Tyler Dibley. I like Cunha from Wolves. They just got more about them to the game. I think a few of us will be in for him from Wolves. He might go for a pretty penny because Wolves. They tied him down to a long contract, but we know with the thing of selling him, and maybe and I think that's why he did it, just to make some.
I think I mean, on one side they were flirting with relegation, but I think they're safe.
Yeah, I think they're good. Yeah, I think
they sell him and reinvest that into the club.
Yeah,
and then they'll go again. I just want to just quickly finish with and I need to really. Just quickly, MLS. Big up. I should have been on 20 minutes ago. MLS, big up to you, scoring your goal in your debut, being picked twice on the bounce under Tuchel. But there seems to be a lot of negativity being fired his way, especially after him doing the Haaland celebration. And when I think it was Højlund, when Højlund did the Sue, nobody had a problem with it. What is it? Is it a kind of thing? Is that kind of thing? Right?
Well, no.
Why is it
just wait till this kid
on this guy?
Just wait till this kid buys his mum a new house and pays cash for it.
Oh, good.
That's what I'm saying. Just wait till he does that, and we'll see. And for me, it's like, let these kids breathe, man, because we all know somebody that has got close to professional football and not quite got over the line for one thing or the other. It's hard to do, Norm. Like, I remember going to England schoolboy trials for basketball, and when I got the tip, I was like, it's like I was just because I knew that it's a mad piece of pressure. You go in there and everyone saying, "Listen, just do your best, man, do your best." But you know that everybody wants you to get picked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though everyone's saying no pressure, know it's pressure deep down. They're just not telling you. So when you see. I've had my godson and them get close at big clubs. get an injury and get cut, and you're like, yo, it was nearly there. And so let this kid breathe, man. We do this too much in the press.
He's not coming. No, yeah, but they're saying he's got an attitude problem, and he's got a bit of swag about him, though. He needs to wind his neck in it, but he's not done anything. Yeah? It's just him.
Yeah, he's got a bit of swag about him, ain't he?
A normal black youth boy coming in, enjoying life, enjoying football, doing well in Arsenal, doing well for England. And yet, when he's announced, when they go to St. George's thing, they're having a guy, he's got a bit of an attitude problem. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Get out of here, man. Just as you say, D, let the man breathe.
Labels, isn't it? It's easy to label. Especially if they felt that somebody else was more worthy of the call. I think he's earned his spot there. And I tip my hat to Tuchel because I don't think Gareth does that. What I think Gareth will go with the old and trusted. I think Tuchel knows that he's got a limited period of time, and he just got to go on form. And if he can mold the form to play good football, then go do it. You know what I mean? As this is me looking in. So I look at that and say, yeah, man, just get your foot off the kid's neck. Let the kid just enjoy his football. Because this is what we're lacking in the game, Norms, is character. We're lacking a Gaza. We're lacking characters. I'm not saying everyone's going to be as wild as Gaza, but characters in football really make the game. Eric Cantona. That's what I'm saying. We're lacking that, man.
Listen, Haaland gave it to him when in the draw when he said, "Who are you?" Yeah. And then just because my man scored, one sat down, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem to Jamie Carragher? Why is it a problem to Jason Cundy about winding neck in? How about you?
But these guys are over opinionated, though, because they're on the bigger platform.
Coming from Talk Sport, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They're on a bigger platform. So
one, congratulations. Right, looking on Talk Sport's website and whatever, and I'm looking on some stuff there. One, very rare that these guys have come out and said, "Oh, well done, Lewis Skelly." If it's anything else, they're on it. Negativity. That's what they want to associate with it.
Well, you have to remember that's what sells.
We've seen it with the penalties. When with the guys, the three guys, missing, and then the abuse that they were getting on Twitter or on X as it's known, And the problem is the media don't help this because they fuel this. They fuel this.
We've seen it.
Keep pouring fire on that. Just look at them by merit and who they are. He's not coming out there and trying to show off or nothing. That's him. That is who he is. You can't change him. That's his character. And as I said in my thing is, MLS. Do your thing and don't worry about the haters. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Norms.
Don't worry about the haters, bro. You understand? Don't worry about the haters. But people, big up to everybody in the chat. Please hit a like button, subscribe and share if you're new. As I said, I'm 3 away from 500 subscribers. So please, I don't want to see that.
Nearly there, over the promised line, Norms.
I need to get to the promised land, man. I need to get over the line. Not like some clubs. You understand? I need to get over the line, people. But listen. Thanks for the interaction. It's been
it's been great in the chat. Big up the guys in the chat, man. All of you.
Thanks to Big Yasser. Obviously, not all the panel could be here tonight. Obviously, everybody has got a live, and I get that. But I really appreciate you coming on and
it's all good, Norms.
A couple of your hours and stuff like that. I really appreciate that, bro. But listen, I've got to shoot onto
do your thing, bro.
Channel. We're gonna. What have I done here? Yeah, we've got to go straight onto there. So, people, as I said,
I got an hour before work, so I can chill for an hour. So it's all good. Man.
So don't put Rashid TV, Arsenal Revolution. That's what we're going on. So, people, hit the like button, subscribe and share, and we're out of here. Take care, and God bless.